What's up, everybody? My name is Brad, and today I'm back with, you guessed it, another book review. Of course, that's what we do here on the channel. We do book reviews. If you happen to be new here, I read a lot of indie and small press horror, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of sci-fi. If that's something you're interested in, consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Check out some of the other videos, and maybe you'll find something that you're interested in. But today, like I said, we're here for a book review. But not just any book review. We're talking about a book of poetry, and we're talking about a collection of Dreamscapes by Christina Sng. This is from Raw Dog Screaming Press. Raw Dog, they put out a ton of different poetry collections that you all should really check out. Myself, I'll be honest, I'm still sort of a newbie when it comes to poetry. I've read this one and really only one other collection, The Devil's Dreamland by Sarah Tainlinger. And other than that, I am basically, like I said, a newbie when it comes to poetry. Growing up, thinking about poetry, it was always something that I didn't care for. It was things I thought would be, love poems or abstract ideas that would just go over my head that I wouldn't understand. But recently, reading this collection and Sarah Tainlinger's collection, and finding this horror poetry, and this one's sort of horror and dark fantasy mixed, I find that I am truly enjoying poetry if I'm reading the poetry that is for me. So this one is great. I do want to mention the cover artist on here. The painting is done by Stephen Archer, and the camera probably won't do it justice, but the cover art on here is really fantastic. So in my written review at the beginning, I put the definition of what a dreamscape is, or what dreamscapes are, and I'll read that for you guys real quick. A dreamscape is a landscape or scene with the strangeness or mystery characteristic of dreams. Now, I'll read that definition because I feel like dreamscapes is the perfect word to use to define this poetry collection. Christina Sng's writing, it has this dreamlike quality to it. Each poem, it's expertly crafted to evoke a thought, an image, a sensation. Unlike with prose writing, there are no words wasted here. It's sharp and to the point, and these poems pull you into these hallucinatory landscapes that are brimming with the fantastical, the beautiful, the dangerous, and sometimes verging right on the fringe of nightmares, which is apt because Christina has another poetry collection titled The Collection, or A Collection of Nightmares. This collection is broken up into 5 different sections, each with its own unique theme and feelings, from sprawling epics reminiscent of Homer's The Odyssey, to bursts of violent delights, to monsters lurking in the shadows, to dark and twisted fairy tales. So the first section is a love song of Allegra. This is a series of poems that collectively tell the story of a warrior woman named Allegra in the fashion of your epic Greek poem like Homer's The Odyssey. The next section, fairy tales. You won't find the Disney versions of classic fairy tales such as Snow White, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty here. These fairy tales, they're spun with a dark thread that the Brothers Grimm themselves would be proud of. I really enjoyed this section. And if you are a Disney fan, the Disney princesses and stuff, I think you'll like the dark twist and takes that Christina has on those sort of classic fairy tales. The next section, all the monsters in the world, full of monsters performing monstrous acts. But us humans, we always seem to be the scariest monsters of all. Next section, the capacity of violence. I think this might be my favorite collection, or my favorite section in this collection. Vicious and raw. These poems are full of emotion and how we all have the capacity slumbering dormant within us to unleash violence. Sng's words, they cut to the bone, and she wields the pen as deftly as she would a blade. And then the last section is myths and dreamscapes. Mythology infused with dark fantasy. These poems have a magical quality to them that makes you feel as if they are from another time and place long since lost. So some of my favorite poems from throughout the collection, I wrote down quite a few. So I'll just list them all. The children, or the child who would become queen, the king who became a psychopath, Grandmother Red, the mermaid, Where There Are Monsters, The Monsters Within, Memoirs in the Dark, Violation, Into the Tall Grass, which is a Stephen King and Joe Hill short story, The Joy of Sewing, Lobotomy, The Forest of Discarded Baby Girls, Noon Race, The Tooth Collector, A Capacity for Violence, The Giants of Easter Island, Styx, The Light at the End of the Tunnel, and The Wasteland. Lyrically spellbinding, a collection of dreamscapes by Christina Sng gives us but a glimpse, a moment frozen in time of conjured worlds both beautiful and desolate, populated by the innocent and those whose innocence has crumbled away to reveal the writhing darkness within. I once thought, as probably many of you do who are watching this video, if you've made it this long, that poetry just isn't for you. But take a chance, expand your horizons, and maybe you'll find out that it's not that poetry isn't for you, but it's just that you've been reading the wrong poetry. Check out some of this horror poetry. Check out this one. It's horror mixed with sort of dark fantasy and mythos and mythology and folklore. This one was a lot of fun. I gave collection of Dreamscapes by Christina Sng 4 out of 5 stars. It just really blew me away for what, again, I considered what poetry could be. Just completely subverted my expectations. And I'm glad that I did take that leap, take that step to try something different, something out of my comfort zone, because I have found that I do truly enjoy poetry when it is in sort of the genres that I enjoy. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Definitely check out some poetry if you haven't. But this has been my 4-star review of Christina Sng's A Collection of Dreamscapes from Raw Dog Screaming Press. That's all I have for you guys today, so thank you for spending your time with me. Again, my name is Brad, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.